The invasion of the city of Samarkand after Bukhara, and in the year 1220, the Tatars moved to the of Samarkand in Uzbekistan, and they took with them prisoners from Bukhara, and they gave each group of prisoners a Mongol banner, and forced them to fight with them against the Muslims, and made prisoners at the front of the Mughal army to protect against arrows. Genghis Khan began to besiege Samarkand, and the hearts of the army charged with defending Samarkand were terrified. The people of the city did not succeed in convincing the army to come out to defend them. So some of the rebellious civilians from the people went out to fight the Mongols, and about 70,000 came out on their feet without horses and without combat experience, but they did what the cowardly army should do. So the Tatars retreated and made ambushes outside the city walls to eliminate against these revolutionaries. These rebels fell into ambushes, and the Mongols were able to eliminate them. The Mongols returned to the siege of Samarkand, and the cowardly army decided inside the city to seek safety from the Tatars. The people in the city could not prevent the army from surrendering. The Tatars agreed to give safety and asked the Samarkand army to hand over their weapons in exchange for their safety exit. When they took their weapons, they killed them to the last and took their money and their women. 50,000 cowardly soldiers were killed in moments. Then the Tatars entered the city and the killing and torture began. They killed countless men, women, and children, and physically assaulted women. Genghis Khan was stationed in Samarkand and took a decision to pursue and kill King Aladdin bin Khwarazm. When the Mongols occupied Samarkand, Genghis Khan sent 20,000 horsemen and said to them, "Seize the king of Khwarizm wherever he is." The end of the king of Khwarizm, Aladdin bin Khwarazm. The Mongol division set out towards the capital of Khwarizm, Urgenda, and is located at the western end of the Amudarya River. The Mongols made basins of wood and clothed them with cow hides so that water would not enter them. Then they put their weapons in them, and they lowered the horses into the water and held the tails of the horses. Then crossed the river. They reached the capital of Khwarizm. Al-Khwarizmi's army saw that the Mongols had crossed the river and reached them. So the Khwarizmi army was terrified. The soldiers started running away, and King Aladdin bin Khwarazm fled to the city of Nishapur in Iran. The Mongols set out after him. King Al-Khwarizmi sensed that the Mongols were pursuing him, so he left Nishapur to Mazandaran, then headed to Tabaristan on the coast of the Caspian Sea, and there he found a ship on the shore, so he boarded it and walked with it to a small island. In humiliation, helplessness, and poverty, after a few days, King Aladdin bin Khwarazm died alone, homeless, after a journey of escape from death. God Almighty says in the Noble Quran, "Wherever you may be, death will overtake you, even if you should be within towers of lofty construction." Aladdin bin Khwarazm remained the ruler of his kingdom for 21 years. Historians say about him that he was patient, and his concern was to manage and protect his country. But why did this king's life end, that strange end? Ibn al-Athir says, Mohammed bin Khwarazm took over the country and killed its kings, and he was left alone as the ruler of all the countries. When he fled from the Mongols, he found no one to defend him. In this speech, we find a clear explanation of the extent of the tragedy that Muslims suffered in that period, and they suffer today as well. This king al-Khwarizmi was good at managing the country, but he severed relations with all the countries around him. So he antagonized them, fought them, and assaulted their property in order to annex them to his kingdom, which led to great hatred among the inhabitants of this country. Aladdin ruled the country by his power, not by people's love for him, and when he needed people, he couldn't find them. The Mongol military division reached the shore of the Caspian Sea, but did not find a ship to pursue Aladdin bin Khwarazm, so it returned to its tasks of killing, destroying, and looting. This military division consisted of only 20,000 soldiers, and they are at a distance of more than 650 km from the main army of Genghis Khan in Samarkand. But despite that, no one was exposed to it on the way back. Fear and psychological defeat and attachment to the world dominated the Muslims, whose numbers approached millions in the depth of the algorithmic state. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on alerts to receive new videos.